Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to our Blether. Sorry, we're a little bit latchy. The wind is playing havoc with some internet, so apologies if we drop. Personally, I'm not having any issues yet, so touch wood, we should be all right. Merry Christmas. So when it comes, yeah, we have to say that because it's our last live show of the year. So yeah, let us know what's in your glass and what you're going to be drinking at Christmas, what dram you're going to be cracking open.
That's a good question, actually. Yeah, what's your Christmas dram?
It depends what's under the tree, what Santa brings. That might.
It's the Master of Malts that we're doing like a wish list, is it? I saw people sharing stuff all over social media, and I think
Who are they? Yeah, the Whiskey Santa. I think it's a Twitter thing or a X thing or whatever. You tweet them and say, "Dear Whiskey Santa, for my Christmas, I would love," and they give out like loads of free whiskey, which is pretty cool.
Do you know what I would love? I would love if they didn't use Every as a courier and my bottle of whiskey turned up, because 3 weeks on and still waiting.
Oh dear.
But, yeah, they said they're going to send out another one, but
You're quicker going down and collecting it yourself, walking down. Anyway, Nevri, if you're listening, pull your finger out and get that delivered.
Oh, give me my whiskey, for God's sake.
I'm going to say hello to a few people. Jeremy, good evening. You're watching on Facebook. Dave Fackerson. Good evening. Good evening, Phil. And David, I'm just going to say David U, because it's... Oh, David UK ESP. David UK. So good evening to you watching live for the first time.
Well done. I think I maybe know David. If it's the same David I think I know, then hello and thank you for watching.
So he's been binge watching all the episodes as far back as Dornick. So you have got a few. You need to go back. You've got about 2 years worth of Blethers to watch. David S.
No, it's fine. Just stop when the presenter becomes a bearded man with black hair. It's fine. Love you, Russell, if you're watching.
If you're watching, Russell, that was all cat. That was not me.
He knows I love him.
Unfortunately, we were kind of hoping that Polly was going to join us. Unfortunately, she emailed us about half an hour ago saying that her power is gone. So we don't have Polly as a guest tonight.
I was so excited about getting to speak to her as well, but
yeah.
We'll
So yeah, we will reschedule Polly for next year. So Polly Logan, she's the distillery manager of Tormore, and has a wealth of experience in previous distilleries. She was working.
Macallan.
Yeah, she was in Macallan. She started at Tomatin. She worked with Diageo, so she had a few distilleries under her care there, and having been at some of her live tastings, she is a fountain of knowledge and really entertaining as well. So we are gutted. We'll hang around for a little bit. So guys, if you've got any questions or anything at all you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll do our best, because Paul, the power might come on. She is kind of primed to come on if that happens. So we'll stick around for a wee bit. Let us know. Let us know what's in your glass. Jeremy doesn't know because he's got a blind whiskey advent calendar. So that's pretty cool.
Fun.
But also really frustrating as well, I would imagine, because if you really like it, how are you going to know? Or is there a way of finding out? Do they tell you at the end? Is that day number 24 or 25 is the reveal of the whiskey that you've tried?
That would be cool. It reminds me of what we were like last night. We went to the Duncan Taylor's clubhouse opening, and they had these really cool, like QR interactive barrels, didn't they? And like you would go up and scan a QR code, and then it would pour your whiskey, and then that would send you the tasting notes, and then it would link it up to the bar so that you would always remember what whiskey you just had. It was a really cool idea.
It's such a brilliant idea.
Really
what I should do is the guys who invented that should get involved with bevied. So when you scan the dram,
the same thing last night.
you upload to your Bevy app and it tells you what you've drank. How,
oh my God. We should make that connection. I'm going to message Ross and be like, I met this like top of a bloke who's got this really fancy barrels. I bet he'd love that.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, Phil's after brownie points, Cat. He's in the cheating 12 tonight.
Well done. Nice. I can't get into my whiskey. I've been quietly working away at it. And you know the bit that I can't get into? It's the paper sleeve on the box. I just can't get it to come off. It's not even the hardest part. It should just slide off, right?
Is that what you've been like fussing about with?
It was me that put the bloody thing on. Like, I can't get
Is that a bottle of your
into
own?
Yeah. So, because in honor of Polly, who's obviously a manager, I thought, well, I'll go and take out a manager's dram, because I went to see Cornelli at Glenmurray the other day, who is now their manager.
Cool.
And I picked up this one, and I can't bloody get into it. I don't want to rip the paper either, because it's a nice sleeve, but I just don't understand.
What are you going to use the sleeve for after?
Well, that's a good point. What will I use the sleeve for after? I don't know. It's just not
Good morning, Rick. You're joining. Let us know if you're having a dram this early, or are you going to wait for 12 o'clock? Just a reminder, guys, if you have joined in the last couple of minutes, Polly's not going to be able to join us tonight due to internet issues. She's hoping to. So we are going to stick around. But if you have got any questions, I'm sure for Polly, feel free, and we'll fire them through to her, and we'll put it up in the chat here. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. I don't even think there's a way we could get her on the phone or something like that. I think outside the box. Yeah,
I bet like her blooming phone signal's not that great either. She's having problems with the weather. It's probably just not a good night for it. Mike is wearing an awesome jumper.
I have got Rudolph, and there's a little secret dram here as well.
Look at that. That's
there we go.
Awesome.
So we had a tasting. That's some leftover 21-year-old Glenfarclas in the beer can. We had a tasting with the sample guys a couple of weeks ago. I'm holding on to that one. So tonight I am drinking. What am I drinking? Chapter 7 blend. Chapter 7. So independent bottler. This was blended for the East City Whisky Club and Whisky Punks. It was a split cask. So only 60, so an octave of peated whiskey blend. So that's what I want tonight. 59%. Tastes absolutely sublime. Doesn't taste like a 59 at all. It's got that classic kind of island notes.
I've got as far as this.
We are one step closer to giving a dram. So, guys, in an hour, once Kat's had her first dram, we're probably going to we'll ask her to do a wee tasting note for us.
I can't get it out of the wooden bit now. Bloody hell. They've really...
So, guys, I'm going to ask you a question for the ones who are watching. If money and time, as in this could be a dram from the past, if that was no object, what would you be having on Christmas Day? And who would you want to share it with? There we go. I'll put that out for you guys. This is great entertainment, Kat. It's like the Crystal Maze. We should put a countdown on for you. You got a little crystal in your box.
It just won't come out. It's sealed in there forever. If anybody's ever bought one of these from Glenmurray, please tell me how you're meant to get into it. Is there like a secret word, or like, is it one of the Cornelli, or is it one of or it's like one of those puzzle boxes where you've got to, like, slide out a bit to release it?
Probably is. It's probably like a key or something, or just a door. Hold up the box, because Maurice Mackay used to do these. Right, turn it around. There's not like a slide. No, so Maurice Mackay used to do these, and the back panel in the bottom was a little slide up Hang on, you pulled out from the bottom.
There's an arrow on the top. Hang on. Oh my God, hang on. You do. You slide the top off like this.
Yeah, there we go. Phil Dixon has just put on, I think, the top pulls straight out. There we go.
Okay, figured it out. Yeah, talk among yourselves there, guys. Actually, I really like the box, but I think this should make the arrows larger for
maybe a different color or something.
Yeah, I think I deserve that dram now, to be honest.
If that was a bottle of your own, did you not put it in the box yourself?
Yes, but I don't remember, and I put the sleeve on as well. But I don't. No, I must have done that. I'd had a few. I mean, I wanted to make sure I got the right one, so I tried them all.
Dave is asking if you've been drinking already tonight.
I wish. Just high on life.
Jeremy's asking how many whiskey shop workers does it take to open a whiskey bottle? And there's that's a joke for a cracker, Jeremy. We should put that in a crack.
You know, I was telling the guys at work earlier that to change my kitchen light bulb, because that sounds like it should be a joke, I had to put on high heels and stand on a chair just so I could reach it. So not only am I ace at DIY, but I look damn fine while I'm doing it.
Oh dear. That's brilliant. Just excuse me, guys. I'm just checking on Paul to see if she's giving us an update. What to do? Talk amongst yourself. Cat's getting into her box.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Okay, so what kind of cask is that? Tell us a little bit about the whiskey.
Port. It's a port cask finish. So filled 2014, bottled last Thursday, and 57.9%. So I think Glenmorangie works the best in port. I just think it is a match made in heaven, to be honest. I think anything that they put into port is good. I tried a cognac one there, and I wasn't super keen on it, but it was a peated one. But I know that they're is it twisted? Yeah, that's like part of their core range. That's cognac, isn't it? Cognac, yeah. Which is quite unusual for a core range, I would say. I don't know anybody else doing that.
Not core range. There's been quite a few cognac limited editions.
Yeah.
Darren Stott's putting a heart to the port cask. I love a port cask as well, and I joined the port cask whiskey appreciation on Facebook. I started that page up about a year ago, and
you did.
Yeah, I completely forgot about it actually till right now.
You could have like 5.8 million followers by now, and you wouldn't even know.
It's maybe 5.8 followers. It's maybe grown by about that much.
I want to meet the guy that's 0.8. That's cool. I'll have to go and look for it.
Yeah, I thought you were on it. Maybe you've forgotten about it too. But yeah, we do love a port cask. Tomatin 14-year-old port cask is probably one of the best core ranges out there in a port. Glenallie do some fantastic port casks.
If anybody was at the distillery on Friday and Saturday, they would have tried something a little bit special in a port cask. But you've tried it before, Mike, actually.
Have I? Was that in the wasn't the academy? It was
Ron's farewell.
Yeah, last year. Was it last year's Rare Fair?
Yeah. So yeah, we had that one back out again. So it was really, really good. It went down really well.
So I've got 199 members of Dave Ferguson of the Port Whiskey.
We should have the Dave Fackerson Facebook appreciation page. Let's get that on the go.
David is asking. David Essex is asking what he'd really like to know is what we'd all like to know. How were Cat's shelves coming along?
I thought that said sleeves for a minute, and I was like, yeah, brand new. But working well, keeping my arms warm. Shelves are
your box sleeve for the Glenmorangie.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, actual whiskey shelves are still in a state of refurbishment.
They're still in trees, David.
Pretty much. My whiskey's still on the floor. However, January sales
Whoever's got you in the staff Secret Santa is going to buy
Shelves.
you a shelf.
Just one shelf.
One shelf. I haven't seen your whiskey collection, but if it's on the floor, I'm
Do you know what? First,
be one really, really big shit.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a lot of whiskey, but I've got more than one shelf's worth. So, yeah, like in the new year, we'll have some shelves, and you'll be astounded at my whiskey collection. And if my bottle from Master of Malt ever turns up, it's one more for the collection. So
exactly. I'm going to let you read out Jeremy Watt's answer to the ultimate dram.
Ultimate dram, one of those old Glenglassaugh single casks. Company, my favorite. But do you know what, Jeremy? Do you know what? I liked you.
That's Jeremy's invite to Glengarry up the spook.
I'll remember that. Cats hold a grudge, right? You never piss off a cat.
9 of them, one for every life.
I know, right? If I ever get invited to rent your house, I will pee on your armchair and scratch your curtains, and that's all I'm saying.
Oh dear, Alistair. Good evening. That's specific for one person. That's not for everyone. In case you just joined us. But good evening, Alistair. I hope you're well. We've been asking the guys what their ultimate dram would be for Christmas Day if money and time was no issue, and who would you like to share it with? Sounds like the end of a good night.
Wait, have we been out drinking before?
You haven't done this to Jeremy before, have you? Just got a brand new sofa.
That's why Russell's his favourite ever since the sofa incident. I'm not going to see where Russell urinated, but it wasn't on the sofa. Okay. Rick has got an answer for us. My Christmas dram would be from a bottle of 28-year-old Inchmurrin that he killed 15 years ago and still kept the empty bottle. Have a smell of it. I wonder what that smells like now. Amazing dram. I share that with anyone who appreciates a good Highland malt. Oh, that's a nice sentiment.
I appreciate a good Highland malt, Rick, so I'll share that dram with you quite happily. David, really enjoyed the Tyree episode and the Manx episode. Manx Distillery bottled their first release today.
They did.
Bottle today, release next week. It's 14th, isn't it? The release, if I remember.
Yeah, Tyree.
Yeah.
Which one? Sorry, I think Tyree. Oh, yeah, Manx. Yeah, Tyree or January, I think. They're releasing their one. It's exciting to see these little wee distilleries and I was watching Magnus's reels of filling his bottles just like in his front room. It looked like it's amazing that he does that all by himself. He got more out of the cask than he was expecting. It was like 85 or something he got out of the cask, maybe.
Okay. He was looking at about 70, wasn't
he? Yeah.
That's good. That's a good cask then. Sound of a good quality cask if it's not leaking or evaporating.
Yeah, exactly. No, it'd be fun to see what they come up with next. And Tyree as well. I'm really excited about their whiskey coming out. I think he did a ballot for it. Or like a sort of, I think if you were signed up to their newsletter, something came through anyway, and you could put your name on for it.
Oh, cool. Alistair's dream dram for Christmas would be the Glenallachie Oloroso single cask from Inverurie Whisky Shop. A bottle very much missed. Alistair, if you pop into the shop, we have still got some of that dram in the bar upstairs. So if you do want to reminisce, I'd be quite happy to share one with you.
Was this one that you released for the shop?
The shop exclusive, yeah. We launched it in 2020. It was just as COVID was kicking off. And we've been talking to, it was Ben Chambers at the time. And we were talking to, we got 4 samples. And pretty healthy samples we got. And one was a port cask, 2 Oloroso sherry and 1 PX. And we chose from cask 7169. So when we chose it, it was 12 years old. We bottled it at 12 years, but we kind of had to rush it through, not rush to the liquid or anything, but before the bottling hole started closing down. And we were hoping it would be 13 years. This is a point of difference because 13 is not a year you see very often. But it was 12 weeks, 12 years and 51 weeks pulled that bottle. So we missed it by a week, but we had no choice but to get to the bottling hall. And it was one of these drams. It obviously tasted excellent, as Alistair's kind of testified to. It sold really quick to start with, and then it kind of plateaued. It was a big cask. It was 715 bottles. So, it was a lot of liquid to sell. But it kind of plateaued and it kind of stagnated a little bit. And then there's a Dutch lad called Roloff, who does tubes of whiskey samples, and he kind of used to do a lot of Glendronach, and now he's doing a lot of Glenallachie. And somebody sampled a 28-pack, all single casks, and he picked ours as the dram of the 28. And there was some 30-year-old, there was some 25-year-old, and some really good stuff. And he kind of did a review on them, and he said our one was the pick of the bunch. So after that, I woke up in the morning to about 25, 30 orders coming in, and still coming in. I was like, what's going on here? Noticed we've been tagged, looked up on Facebook, and this guy had done a review. So he's obviously very well thought of. I wish I could remember his name. A German lad. And so it got to the point where we're now like, really don't want to sell any more of this. Why is it going so fast? So it went from, why is nobody buying it? To overnight said, stop buying it. I want to keep some of this. And Ruffle sold the last bottle about a week after that. So, but we did keep a case for it up the stairs in the bar.
That's cool. I'll have to rake it out next time I'm over and have a nose of it.
Yeah. Roloff Nikolai Alistair. He's asking on Facebook who Roloff was. Dave is asking on YouTube, what's the cask number? It was 7169 was the cask number. Oh, I might have a dram of that for my Christmas as well. Talking about it. And it was such a nice, just classic Glenallachie, classic Oloroso. Really quite nutty and almost savoury notes. There was some kind of curry powder coming through as well. It was just such a complex little dram. Beautiful.
Yeah. I'd always have Oloroso over Pedro Jimenez. You get a lot more, just more, I think.
Yeah,
if you like sweet, then I think Pedro Jimenez is your thing. But if you want a bit more behind there, I think Oloroso is great for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phil Dixon would go for the 10-year-old Macallan cask strength in the red box, and he would share it with his granddad if he could. Nice. A lot of old school Macallan would be probably the pick of quite a few when it was back in the day when it was affordable and drinkable.
Yeah, it's like a proper grandpa drink as well, though, because like everybody's grandpa either had like a Macallan, a Glenlivet, or a Glenmorangie in their cupboard, didn't they? And it was always brought out for like births, deaths, marriages, and Hogmanay. So yeah, that's a nice idea. Awesome.
Yeah. Darren Stott would have Compass Box Rose, or is having, I think, Compass Box Rogue's Banquet, and his company is his brother. Awesome. Sounds good. Liam Clark, favourite dram for Christmas is the Longmorn 15. Longmorn 15, that's a dram I haven't heard of for a while. And last Longmorn I saw at Core Range was the 16-year-old. It had the little leather, not pouch, but had a little leather band around the bottom of the bottle. Looked awesome.
That's cool. So Dave's got 3 bottles of your whiskey, Mike. We're going around to Dave's house for Christmas.
Yeah, Alistair. Get around to Dave's. He's got plenty of it. There we go.
Bring him a Terry's chocolate orange, and then I'm sure you'll get a dram. And the Terry's chocolate orange in a glass is that would be an interesting Christmas.
I think that's Alistair describing our sherry cask.
Oh, melted. That would be interesting though. Melting a Terry's chocolate orange in a glass.
Pour some whiskey over it.
Oh, that would be quite fun actually.
That would be it. I remember Ardent Spirits, the Bernabéni guys, Mike Bain, and they released last year a 4-year-old rye cask. Grain spirit, and it wasn't rye cask, it was a grain spirit, heavily influenced with chocolate malt. And it was Terry's chocolate orange in a glass. Like a really spiced chocolate orange. It was absolutely banging. It was only 45 quid, I think. It was 60%. I'm not sure how that goes with minimum pricing, but it must be pretty close to the bone. But yeah, that was phenomenal. Kat, what's been your favourite whiskey this year?
God, I don't. Oh,
The effort you've put into that Glenmorangie, it must be that.
it's actually really, really nice. Do you know? I think it was the one that you guys took back from Glenglassaugh, and it was it like 43 years old or something?
I think that's one of the casks that Jeremy was mentioning from the Academy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so Russell, who we do love, bless you, Russell, if you are watching, very kindly let me have a little try of it. And it was absolutely amazing. Because for that age, like, you don't know what to expect, to be honest. And it was gorgeous, really, really nice. So yeah, maybe that one, to be honest. Can't think. I'm really bad at remember. I should write whiskey, write notes and write it down, but I'm just oh, love it, and then kind of forget. Yeah, let's go for that one. There's been so much good whiskey released this year. I don't know if I could pick. What would be you do a bottle of the year, don't you usually, Mike? You always kind of say what your top.
I'm not announcing which one is going to be my bottle of the year.
Okay.
Because I'll do that separately. There's been a few. I remember last year was the 12-year-old Mortlach from Woodrow's was just phenomenal. And I thought that would take some beating. I try to avoid whiskies like the Glenglassaughs. And there was one at Ardmore, this 1972 Ardmore that we got to try.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's fair on people who don't get to experience that kind of things to say,
that's true.
Hey, I got to try this up yours, and you'll never try it again. But things that I would say one that stood out for me was I think if I have the bottle here because I sampled it not that long ago. There's this guy. The recent handful from Glendronach, Oloroso, Punchin, 12 years old, cask number 5036. Ali Milton alerted me to it and said, "You got to try this as a proper old school Glendronach." And that's in the shortlist. That's an absolute cranger, and it was £115. And then one of the surprise drams that I had was the Arrival from Holyrood. I think that would be up there.
I liked that one, actually. I was really excited about that one.
Price point of £50, £55. Again, was absolutely superb. Ali's watching. Ali, hello. He might fill his glass with it, the new. Thanks for the heads up, Ali. I think you told everyone who'd listened to you about this cask. But it is absolutely superb.
That's cool. I think the Harris one as well, the Herriot, I think that was a really good price point. I think it's a good. Oh, do you know what else I actually loved? Now that we're talking about whiskey, I've just forgotten. The Paul-en-Noir, the Ardnamurchan, the Paul-en-Noir.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I haven't tried any of them. We've got all three of them released, 4 released, in the shop upstairs in the bar. Yeah. I haven't tried one yet. David Essex is a Kubokan 15-year-old. Is that batch 1 or batch 2, David? I've tried batch 1. I agree with you. It's phenomenal. But I haven't tried batch 2.
The sherry. Is that the sherry one?
Yeah, full maturation for 15 years in Oloroso. I think Alistair was on that as well. Alistair alerted to me about how good that was.
Okay.
Alistair Gray, not Ali Milton.
I like
Conor McCoy. He's on. Good evening, Connell. Great to have you on. Grace. Oh, that I haven't tried it. Probably. Yeah. I apologise. I like to let the customers try them first. Honestly, that's my excuse.
I know. I got a sample of it from. I tried it at the festival that I was in Aberdeen. Was it the something festival?
National Whisky Festival.
Yeah, that one. And then Alex from Woodrow's very kindly gave me another sample of it, and it just, oh my God, it wasn't a big enough sample. It was just so nice. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite ones from the year, to be honest.
I've decided, Connell's laughing at me now. I'm going to make it up to you. I'm going to try all 3 of them tomorrow when I go into work. There we go.
No, wait till Saturday, because I'm there on Saturday. Wait until Saturday.
Oh well. Okay, we'll do that. and then you can get the train home.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Another one as well that might creep into my top 5 would be the sherry cask from Ardnamurchan. That's actually, or the Madeira cask. I think a lot of people thinking the Madeira cask is probably the best Ardnamurchan have released yet. And I remember pouring that, and Kay from the Highlander Inn was in the shop at the time, so I gave him a little sample. I can't remember if that was this year or last year. I think it was early this year. Connor will be able to remind me if that came out this year. So if that was this year, yeah, that would be up there. Definitely.
That's cool. So yeah, pretty much Ardnamurchan's making our top 3 of them.
I have got a short list that I'll blog about, and it's last year, so the Madeira cask is out, unfortunately. And doesn't make it any less fantastic a dram.
No, exactly. Do you know, without being too much on brand for my other job, our new whiskey is maybe up there with another favourite of mine. It's very, very nice. Don't worry, I'm not on a hard sell, but it's so good. It's really nice. That's going to be my Christmas dram, because it's very, very Christmassy.
I'm debating whether I'm going to buy it or not. I mean, I bought all the other ones, but I wasn't allowed to go to your opening. So.
You were allowed to go. You just chose to go somewhere else. You were very welcome to attend.
Yeah, but you picked the wrong weekend to have it on. So,
do you know, it was the wrong weekend because literally everything was on that weekend. Yeah. It's so hard to choose a weekend in December because there's always something on, isn't there? If it's not a Christmas fair, it's something or other, or somebody's got a Christmas party to go to or something.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one.
We need to stop people being busy at Christmas.
We do. Really, they should come to us and say, like, you know, what's your plans, and we'll make plans round about it. That'd be a lot easier.
And Ben Marnock is on YouTube, and he is in the Bushmill 16-year-old from 7 or 8 years ago. Superb stuff, and that's what got him turned. I thought you were going to say turned into whiskey, turned onto whiskey. And he would share it with Al Michaels, the veteran American sports commentator. Forgive my naivety on American sports commentators, but Bushmill 16 I know is quite notorious dram. Not tried it, but yeah, I've heard very good stuff about it.
That's cool. So who would be joining you for your top dram at Christmas table?
I got asked this yesterday. So we do a business breakfast every Wednesday morning, and all the members take a turn to present. So I was presenting yesterday about the shop, and that question I got asked. So I would say probably after just passing away last week, I'd have to say Shane McGowan. I would love to have a dram with him. Seen him plenty live and shared a dram with him, but from across the concert hall.
Okay.
But yeah, I would love to sit down and hear. I've read his autobiography, and some of his stories are mad, and I'm sure that's only the ones that you can remember. So he used to write when he was in the pub and drinking. He used to write lyrics as they popped into his head and write them on the back of beer mats. And then when he'd wake up in the morning, just the ones he would collect that's the ones that turned into songs. And I just wonder how many lyrics have been lost by beers being spilt on them, or barmen collecting them up and throwing them out and stuff. I think that'd be such a great, interesting story. What would I drink with them? There's a whiskey that always stands out when people ask me what my favorite ever whiskey was, and I just remember it was in 1988, Colila. It was bottled for the celebration of the cask range by Morrison and Mackay before they became Morrison Distillers. And it was just like drinking fruit pastels. It was absolutely extraordinary. And I think it sticks in my head is because it had such a memorable flavour, and that's just how I remember it. I've probably had better whiskey since or whatever, but that's one that always sticks in. So yeah, I would share that. But I might feel like I have to share an Irish whiskey with Shane. So I might dig a 16-year-old Bushmill.
That's cool. That is cool.
Who else is commenting? Ed Fridays opened a Benriach cask strength port pipe a few weeks ago. Maybe a late contender for Christmas Dram if you have any left by then. Benriach's an amazing distillery. It works so well with so many different distillery cask types. Is it the peated port cask, Ed, or is it the unpeated? Because port pipes and peated Benriach is right up there with my favourite from the distillery. They took out sister casks a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and we used it quite a lot to tell people how good peat was. Gavin Mills, who we talked to a lot off the...
He's not a fan of peat.
From the academy. He is now. He can't stop drinking peat. He loves it. And that was the cask. I can't remember. It was one of the sister casks, 9024 and 9020, I think. And they were both really, really good. David Muir, yes, we are missing a guest. Unfortunately, Polly's internet is down, and just with the weather we expect, her whole power's gone. So unfortunately, she's not able to join us.
I know. I hope she's keeping warm, bless her. Like her heating will be off and stuff. She'll be miserable.
Yeah.
Did you see the photographs that they posted of Tormore in the snow the other day on their social media? It was absolutely gorgeous.
No.
Really.
I mean, it's a phenomenal distillery to look at anyway, isn't it?
It is. What is it? The Pearl of Speyside. Don't bail out on us, David.
David's gone back to work. Yeah, no, Polly, it's fine. David, we'll send you the link. You can come on and join us. You can be a guest.
Yeah, it's 20 to 8 as well. Like, take a break, man. Sit yourself down.
You should be in a bath by now. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, get in the bath.
I think he's still up in Skye just now. He's still working away, so maybe he doesn't have a bath up there.
I'm surprised you're not getting the weather up there as well. Surely it'd be getting a bit blowy up there by now, wouldn't it?
I'd imagine it would be. So yeah, guys, do let us know what your dram is. If you're new to joining us tonight, let us know what's in your glass today. What's in your glass at Christmas Day, if you can, and who would you share that dram with if you've got the choice.
And also, while we've got you guys on there, for me booking people for next year, who would you like me to try and track down? Is there anybody in the industry that you think they would be really interesting to speak to? And I will track them down, and I'll do my best to track them down to see if we can get them on. So give me some suggestions.
Hunt them down.
I will stalk them through social media until I can. This is literally how I operate. I will just follow people, or I'll find people that they know and follow them, and then
we get a 1 week holiday a year on the condition that she travels around the world hunting people down.
It's literally what I do now. Whenever I go anywhere for work, even if I'm working for the other side, I'm like, "Hi, my name's Kat. Did I tell you that I do a live chat?"
Martin Armstrong from Whisky Broker would be a good guest.
Okay.
Write that down.
I will. I will write that. Yeah, so I did wonder about Ralphie, and I'm kind of new to the whole Ralphie world, so I didn't really know of him until Ardent American released. It was for was it his 1000th review? 1000th. It's not that difficult.
I think you're doing it right. It just sounds weird. 1000.
But people had asked me about him before, so obviously my other job, people kind of say ask me who do you get your information from? Who do you like to watch? And quite often people reference this guy Ralphie, and I hadn't really looked him up, to be honest. Well, tell a lie, I looked him up once when I was cooking dinner, and it was just a guy in a shed, and I was like, well, this can't be the right guy. But no, it is. It is him. I just didn't realize that was his thing. So I had thought about it. So I definitely will reach out to him, and he can be a bit cantankerous.
Yeah, he's a bit of a what was the word we were talking about the other day? Curmudgeon.
Curmudgeon. I think he's got quite political, is what I'm told by other folks. But But that's cool. I mean,
I think he was one of the first. Him and Serge came out and announced that they weren't going to accept any freebies because they felt that it swayed how, or they could be seen to be swaying. So somebody said this is a really good dram, but they received it for free.
Okay.
They thought that might either inadvertently sway them, or they felt like they had to say good stuff about it. So I think Serge Valentine and Ralphie were the two that kind of said, no, we're not accepting any fee. We want to give honest opinions, therefore we're going to buy our own whiskey and do it that way. And I like that. That was kind of it was a nice kind of message to send to influencers and bloggers and things, because we get so many, not so much for the shop, but from certainly through Foghouse, so many influencers emailing us and saying, oh, if you send me your gin and stuff, we'll do a review and we'll all 12 of them, the people who follow me will like it. And it's just like, no. Yeah. I'd rather get honest feedback from people who, you get honest feedback from people because they're quite entitled. They bought the bottle. They're quite entitled to give you. If they don't like it, they'll tell you. David Roy Duff, I think, would be an excellent guest. I would like to think he would come on from the Aquavitae. I'm not sure if there's an Aquavitae on tonight. I think he's got Connell on tonight. Is Connell not? I thought Connell was jumping on there tonight. He's maybe warming up with us. I'm pretty sure he does a mini series, what the industry drinks. So last week he had Mark Watt on, and this week he has got, I'm sure it's Connell who was on. Yeah, Art American tonight. Yeah. So well, I'm going to go on there after this. I'm going to harass Connell the way he harassed me tonight. Big Jake and Tintin from Unchill Filtered and Uncut podcast.
I don't know that one, but I'll look into it. I'm still trying to get my Whisky sisters on. I love them. And like the point you were making a minute ago, people send them samples to try on their podcast. And like Inka, she's actually pretty honest. Like she doesn't like it. She kind of just tells you she doesn't like it, but you can't like everything. So yeah, I'd love to get them on. What were you going to say? Sorry, Mike.
You mentioned Whisky Sisters. I thought I listened to them on a podcast, not another whiskey podcast, but it was Christine from the Whisky Witches.
So I was speaking to her last year, so we're going to get her on.
Yeah.
Next year. No, I wasn't speaking to her last year. I was speaking to her this year for next year. You know what I mean?
Okay. So they They do music and whiskey. They kind of do, and they do shows. So they go to whiskey tasting, but they perform a show and
they do the Fringe, don't they? But I wanted her on for Halloween because I thought it'd be really cool to get them on for Halloween, because Millie Milliken had just written a great article about the association between witchcraft and distillation, and it kind of reminds me of the thing that I wrote for your website. I reached out to the Whisky Witches, and we just couldn't make dates work this year because I think they did announce it on their socials. I think they're recording some music for release as well. So I think they're just a bit hectic this year. But yeah, I'm in touch with her. So we're going to get her on next year, which is cool. It'll be fun to speak to them for a while.
Dave wants all the whiskey shop staff at the same time. My God. You've seen how much shite me and Kat speak together, let alone getting another 5 people on.
You need to set aside like a day just for watching that.
I think we're going to do that as a podcast so we can edit it and then put it out.
Yeah, I know. I sometimes have to remind myself that we are live because some of our conversations are, it's good to remember that we're live.
That's why we do it at 7 o'clock and not 9 o'clock. Try and keep us under control. I'm hearing a lot of love on YouTube for Roy Duff's Art American casks, the Aquavitae exclusives. So yeah, Alistair's going to drop off some samples. Thank you very much. And we'll swap. We'll do a dram swap. We'll give you some of the whiskey exclusive Glenallachie for some of that.
Is that a thing? Could it be a thing, like a dram swap? Like if you can put up on... Is it actually a thing? You can like a sort of library, like an exchange. That's cool. Need to get in on that. I thought maybe I'd just come up with an amazing idea, but it obviously exists. So let's just end that conversation.
We used to do one in the pot in the Bull, where you had a bottle, so and nothing great, just a wee sample bottle, but you'd fill it with a whiskey from your collection and you leave it behind the bar. And there was about 5 of us, and the first person to come in after you left it off would get it, and they would drink it. They would tell you what they thought, and they would fill up and then put it behind the bar again. It was just kind of a blind, ongoing whiskey tasting. It was quite fun. It was a great way to get rid of all your grouse and stuff because nobody knew what it was. I'm joking if anyone was watching.
I had this group of guys, older men, that came into the distillery once, and they all had chosen a bottle as the funeral bottle. So whoever popped their clogs first would get to then open up the other guys' bottles and toast their health. It was quite macabre.
And sure, if they popped their clogs first, they wouldn't get the chance to open the bottle because they become
the rest of the guys get to open it. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's been a long day. I thought that was quite a nice idea.
Yeah, it would give you incentive to keep on living, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. It definitely would. Or to start killing off your pals.
See what living in Huntley's done to you. It's so dark.
I know. It's like Huntley's literally like Gotham. I've just become a different person.
The cat man.
Or cat woman. Like that's an actual thing.
Right. That's what it's important. Let's take it.
Cat man. Changing my gender is easier than just bumping off the other cat woman.
Just a mask. Just a bit more of a manly cat man, like a tabby man. A tab cat. Yeah.
We'll work on it. We'll put a pin in it and work on it. David's saying there's nothing wrong with David's saying there's nothing wrong with famous grouse, and he's right, because was that not Princess Margaret's favourite? Like, she insisted everywhere she went there had to be a bottle of famous grouse there. She was like, yeah, Princess Margaret would have nothing but, I mean, I'm sure she drank lots of other things, but everywhere she went, she insisted there was a bottle of, I'm sure it was grouse.
I mean, yeah, we kind of like to have little digs at these kind of commercial brands and stuff, but yeah, if it wasn't for guys like Grouse and Blend and Bells and teachers and these kind of guys, a lot of distilleries wouldn't exist.
I mean, teachers quality blend anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people's like first go away with whiskey, isn't it? Like a blend, because it's affordable and it's, they are good quality.
It's always behind the bar as well. Whatever bar you go into, there's one of them, Jurors or absolutely. Dave's asking what's coming from Foghouse in the future. So we have just secured our second whiskey cask. So we are filling that into some octaves. That'll be probably the start of the year. So I'm hoping that they'll take 3-ish months in the octaves. And what else have we got? So yeah, there's 3 different styles of octaves. So I'm not sure if we're going to do 3 releases or if we're going to try blending them and putting them together. So it's 3 different sherry casks we've got. So yeah, that's in the pipeline. We're not sure how we're going to release them, but there's going to be that. And we've also got some rum, some Caribbean blended rum sitting in an octave just now. I'm going to get my first taste of that since it's been in the cask tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. So that'll be coming out next year. So that's only been in the cask about 3 weeks. So I don't think that won't be pre-Christmas. And we're going to be adding to the gin range as well. So that's something that's going to come out next year as well. I just get fed up going to festivals and people saying, "Is that the only gin you've got?" Well, yeah, but we do one thing, but we do it very well. It was the best gin in Scotland in 2022. So yes, it's all we do. But so now we can say, but we've also got this and we've got this. That's the plan anyway. So it's going to be an exciting year for Foghouse. I'm going to, we've got a good team at the shop now as well, so I feel a bit more relaxed about things that I can venture off and get casks for the other business and see what we can do there. And Ben Marek is asking about David Stark. Dave Stark has been on.
He has.
That was your first Blether, wasn't it, Dave Stark?
It was. It was me and Russell, because I think you were meant to be doing it, and then something came up where you weren't well, maybe, or something, and I jumped on to help Russell out. I'm sure.
Yeah, I had something on. I can't remember what it was, but
yeah,
I remember it being quite last minute. And I was just like, "Cat, go and jump on with Russell."
I know, and it's quite scary as well, because it's somebody, like, it's not just, I mean, every guest we have on, of course, is really important and like really interesting, but yeah, like somebody that knowledgeable for your because he was one of my first guests, and then I think one of my like second guests was like, Keith Distillery, and like like these guys are like super
Johnny
crazy knowledgeable. Like Johnny's like just like, they're so intensely knowledgeable as well. I was like, these guys are terrifying. I hate live chat. But yeah, I wonder how they're coming along, actually, how the distillery is coming along.
Yeah, they did promise to come back on in a year and tell us how they're getting on. But no, I would like to get David back on, because obviously I didn't get a chance. I've spoken to him a few times. We stalk his book, not off the back of that chat, but he was just about to launch the book, I think, or had just launched it when we got him on. So he would be excellent, and he's good friends with the guys at Little Brown Dog.
That's right, because of course they did the funny video with them, didn't they? The green screen.
Yeah. Have you seen their latest one? The
Helen one.
The eviction from Teletubby Land.
It's, oh my God, they're hilarious. It's like him just in the Drum of Wartle, dressed up like Teletubby, looking at all the shelves.
Yeah, in the garage at Drum. Yeah. But do you know the baby in the sun, or the son? That's David Stark as well. Doing the
Is it?
Yeah, that's David Stark.
I didn't realise that. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. That's funny. Have you seen the amazing? It's been released by James Eady. The big
the book.
The massive book. It's like a.
I haven't. No, I didn't get my hands on that.
Oh, it's beautiful. No, I haven't got my hands on it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. What's it called? It looks amazing. I think it would be very expensive, because like a family Bible size. It's huge.
The first edition came out, and people were clamoring over it. I think it was either ballot or like very restricted release. It was with James Eady and Royal Mile Whisky, wasn't it? Were involved.
Yeah, this is it. It's called The Distilleries of Great Britain and Ireland, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous.
Because I went back through. There used to be like old kind of single pamphlet magazines telling you the whiskey news of the time, and they kind of found this archive. Hello, you. Here we go. Is the little man ready for his bed?
Oh, Killian. Look at your tough
hair. Who's this?
Hello.
You going to smile?
Hello.
You're going to smile. So this is who I'm sharing my Christmas dram with. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to share it physically with you. It depends on how your teeth are coming on. Who's that? The cat.
Hello. I can't touch you. I can't like pick you up. Look, there you are. You're waving. Hello, wee man. Hello. Hello.
Last time I had him, I was trying to keep him off screen because he kept trying to grab it and he kept pulling the computer. And I was just like, you can't. Don't pull the computer. You just had a bath, haven't you? You smell good. You don't often smell good, but you smell good to smell. Yeah.
We'll just hand the chat over to you, Killian. You can do it.
Maybe not. Ali Milton. Oh. He's got more hair than me as well. Look at that. Look at that. This is the only reason I had a child, is so I can steal his hair. I can get implants. Yes. You've got loads of it, don't you? It's the right colour as well.
He's got very nice hair. Oh no. Where'd you go?
Right.
bedtime.
Recent James E.D. book. This is from Jeremy Watt. Is about £75, which is not bad actually for the book that you're getting. I think it's. And they have 6 distilleries who have repeated the styles, and they'll release casks in the future, including a small sample net of the new mix. So is that the new distilleries? Is that guys like Brora, Rosebank, these guys who have recreated closed distillery styles? Is that what you mean there, Jeremy? Or is this brand new distilleries?
Full of noises.
You just got been left with me. Tony's just.
It's just like down watching like Outlander or something. Right, off you. There you go. That's all right. He can co-host.
Oh, you can, so. But I think you're tired, aren't you? You're going to start crying in my lug in a second. You're not a crying baby, are you? You're not much of a crier.
No, I don't think I think I've only seen him cry once, and then I just didn't know what to do because everybody had gone. But he's not much of a crier. No. He cried, bless him, remember when he met Darren at the shop for the first time, and he cried. It's like new faces.
Yeah. Men with beards, funnily enough, he cries at. I mean...
Don't trust men with beards.
Yeah, don't. I know.
So Jeremy says, it's small distilleries making special 1930s versions of new make based on the research. Dornish, Mill, and a few others. That's really cool.
That's what Johnny and Angus are wanting to do at Clythe.
Yeah. Recreate sort of traditional single malt.
Yeah, and the Cadbury Community Distillery as well. Guys, if you haven't watched that one, that's one maybe David Essex would like to watch.
I think he's David from Essex. I think he is from Essex, but
he's from Essex. I thought it was David Essex.
I think isn't David Essex like a sort of like the sort of pop star that your mum likes? Is that not like a 70s pop star? I'm going to Google that. I'm sure there's like a real person called that. I mean. You might also be called David Essex, David. I don't know. I'm sure you are a real person, but I'm sure like there's.
We had a chat about the Cadbury Community Distillery with Alan Winchester and one of the committee members, and they really, and they were posting again. They're signing up members to their newsletter now, so that's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, because I think did COVID not put a stop to a lot of the stuff they were doing over there, and then they kind of
it just held things up. I guess everything got held up.
Yeah, it'll be really cool when they get up and running. David Essex is a real life 70s pop star, so there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Roddy Graham from the Good Spirits Company as well. We've got all sorts of suggestions coming tonight.
There's so many people that we need to speak to.
I know.
And it's like when we sit and brainstorm, it's like, oh, well, we've had them, we've had it. And it got to the point, honestly speaking, where we thought, we kind of rattled through quite a lot of really big names. And it's like, how are we going to beat that? And then suddenly we realized we don't have to beat that, because some of the more interesting people are the guys who maybe nobody's heard of or just starting up. And Magnus last week was insanely interesting and
so cool. Yeah, no, we've had some just like fun, quirky kind of maybe just not your obvious big gig tickets, like Callum from the Quake Bar. Like he is just an encyclopedic knowledge of whiskey. Sitting in a room with him and Christopher Coates, like I was just geeked out. Like they were just talking about distilleries I've never heard of before. And I thought my knowledge was okay, but I was like, wow, I'm tapping out, guys.
What's your favourite part of the whiskey process? Or whiskey geekery? Do you prefer talking about production? Do you prefer talking about the liquid in the bottle? Or do you prefer talking about the history? Or the people? There's four categories. What would be you?
That's difficult. I do get quite... I like the production side of things because I love how just like these tiny little nuances change the new make spirit. And I always want to learn more about that. Like I can never learn enough about production, like whether it's like yeast or like barley strains or things like that. I really, really like that. And the history side of things, because I kind of think like distilleries, new and old, really is part of, it's like Scotland's social history, isn't it? So like, the old ones have got so much, they're almost like kind of, I always think it's like, like the rings inside a tree. You can always see what each generation did over the time when they've new ownership and things. But even the new distilleries, like I think it was something you said to Magnus last week that was quite like kind of stuck with me. And it was, in 10 years time, he's kind of like making like the sort of the next generation of whiskey, which is really, really cool. Yes, he's got his first bottle, but like, yeah, in 10 years time, he'll be handing over, or longer, he'll be handing over to a distillery, like a new established distillery, to like a next generation. So yeah. I like both those sides of things, like the history and production. Like I find the other stuff like the branding and things really interesting, like how you choose that and the impact that has on getting people to support your brand. Yeah, I just think it's all really interesting because everything kind of interconnects, doesn't it? Like it just.
Yeah. I think the people is what interests me most. In that, the guys that we've spoken to is like, how did you get into whiskey? Every single one of them has a different story.
A different story.
Every one of them came in a different. Whether a barman who kind of fell in love with it, they went to university, studied distillation, or they went to be a chemist and they fell into whiskey circle. Everyone has, or they were just really keen enthusiasts who decided to go on YouTube and learn how to make rum, as you do. So yeah, I think that's the stories behind the making of the people. I think is what I love history, and like you, I love how the interaction of what's going on in the country at the time, socially and economically and politically, ties in with the making of very important. Like the French Revolution had a huge impact on the 1707 Union Act, and how we Scotland tried to colonise Panama, sent a load of colonies over to Panama, and they all pretty much died of tropical diseases, and we wasted a lot of money doing that, and that left us vulnerable to the 1707 Union, which was a massive impact on whiskey, with the taxes and things, and so things like that are quite funky and really interesting.
And when I was doing the release for the wine cask last week, I was talking about just the history of Scotland and wine, because wine was almost our national tipple, like before whiskey kind of became Scotland's national drink.
Well, we realised that grapes don't grow in Scotland.
Well, yeah. Well, until kind of like, so the Old Alliance is kind of what fueled it, but there's a really good book. It's called Knee Deep in Claret. I'd like to borrow it actually. That would be
heard of that book.
Hmm?
I've heard of that book,
yeah. I'm just writing down the name of that author because he would be quite a good one to go on.
It kind of ended up being the other way around, isn't it? France is our biggest importer in Europe of whiskey.
Yeah, it's had a complete full circle. But yeah, I mean, like Scotland had this really special relationship with France. Like import of wine was protected. We got the very best wine. Like a lot of Scottish men became wine merchants, like the Manson family from Glengarry. They had a wine merchant. But when I was researching it, so when Alexander III fell off his horse, he'd spent the whole day drinking wine in Edinburgh, and he was traveling to Fife to go see his wife, and he fell off the front of his horse and completely rechanged Scottish politics, because it started the Civil War. Of course, you had John Balliol and you had Robert the Bruce. But when he died, he left a massive, whacking, great big wine bill that this wine merchant tried to get King Edward I to pay rent. But like the fact that like this guy was just wasted on wine and just fell headfirst off his horse down the cliff because he was pissed, and it completely changed Scottish politics and culture forevermore after that. I find that insane.
Was Alexander III, when he fell off his horse, he was about to be gouged by a stag? Is that the same king? Because the Highlanders, which were the Queen's Own before they amalgamated with the Gordons in 1994, they have on their Gaelic emblem or signal is, because Cúdach and Raig, which is Save the King, and it's the 12-pointed stag as the badge. And the story is the king fell off his horse and was about to be mauled by a deer, and one of his soldiers leapt to his defence and killed the stag, and that's what he called out as Cúdach and Raig to save the king. So that's why they adopted it. I don't know if it's the same story. I just think because King Alexander III is the Dalmore bottling, and they've got the stag, so maybe getting a few things confused. It's maybe a different king. But yeah, kings should stop falling off horses. It make things a lot easier.
It really should. It's very clumsy. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Scottish history with booze is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
We've got some more
Michael Henry. We have had Michael Henry. He is another guy who was really, really interesting. John Grant. I've gone Farkless. John would be fun. My God, right, guys, just see when we stop the podcast, just keep commenting people. So we only need about 48 to fill the year. So I think we've got about 40 tonight.
You say that, but it's so hard to get people, like, when they're free. Of course, everybody's busy. Of course, these people are busy. So it's really hard to track people down. So yeah, I'll take as many suggestions as I can get. I'm just messaging my eldest son to say, can you turn the heating off? Talk among yourselves.
You're sweating a wee bit.
Yeah. And I'm a cheapskate, so I'm not going to pay for like any more than 4 hours. That's excessive. We can just be cold for a while. There we go.
Right. Well, honestly, guys, I think we've passed the point of no return for Polly. I don't think she's going to be coming on. But let's endeavour to make her one of our first guests next year. I think there's some really exciting things at Tormore going on since the purchase by Elixir, visitor centre and whatnot. New liquid coming out. Well, not new liquid, but single malts coming out. That's not the 10-year-old kind of supermarket dram that we had been exposed to before. I think it's going to be some really, really good stuff happening. But we've managed to fill an hour.
We did.
With our generic rambling. But it's been mostly down to the guys at home who watch us every week. So thank you very much for joining us. And apologies once again on behalf of Polly for not making it. Hopefully you've had an entertaining hour with us. And thank you for all your suggestions. And
thank you for sticking with us for the year. I know I'm not Russell. He is larger than life, and he's a fantastic character. So I was really worried you guys would all just be like, "Nah, fuck it." So you didn't. So thank you for that, guys. I appreciate that a lot.
You've more than filled these shoes. I think you've come in with your own little sparkle, your own, and it's good. It's good fun. Would it be worth speaking to a sherry house? How cool would that be? Yes, it would. We would have to get a sherry house that speaks English because my Spanish is awful. But I know a lady who might be able to get us in touch with that.
Annie
Manson, who has been a guest with us before. Descendant of the great John and Alexander. Which side of the tree is she on? Is she a John or is she an Alexander?
God,
Aki's daughter, so does that help?
I don't remember. Do you know, if they hadn't all just reused the same name for like hundreds of years?
It's what I always forget which ones at
I know. It's hard to remember.
Who's in Meldrum and who's in what's the other parish where they're buried in? Bertie. And then because it's Alexander's son was John and John's son was Alexander, and it's just like
right up to this generation, they're still reusing John and Alexander right up to the. I mean, you've got various different versions of Alexander, don't you? You've got Aki, Sandy, Alex. Yeah. But John is just John. You just can't do anything with that, can you? But no, I don't remember which side she comes from. But,
so Annie was born into the Manson family of Glengarry fame and went to Spain. I think she went on holiday originally, and just fell in love with Seville and decided she was going to stay there, and now does a cookery school and sherry classes and all that.
Yeah.
But she has some great connections with sherry houses and bodegas, so that's not beyond the realms of possibility.
It's not. I have written that down, and also Sandy McIntyre from
from time. We have had Gordon Dundas, who's he's not a brand ambassador. What's his title? Experiential manager. We've had him on before, but I mean, some of these guys were years ago, and there's absolutely no reason why we can't go back.
Yeah,
back on, see what they've been up to in the last couple of years.
The distillery managers are harder to track down than brand ambassadors. But I will do my best. I just need to go and visit these distilleries and just knock on some doors.
Get some handcuffs and just cuff them and say, "Yeah, you're doing it, but I'm not releasing you."
Well, I mean, that is one way of doing it, especially if we get Stuart Buchanan on. That is a very reasonable shout.
He's another one that Russell had all to himself.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I'll pop Pin down because we need to get him on. That was a great chat, actually, as well. That's another good one to watch back. For David who's watching all back, they had a great time together, didn't they? So yeah, all very good suggestions. So I will start working on some of these and see if we can get some dates in the diary for next year. Looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
Guys, if we don't see you through the shop or online or on any of our YouTube chats, great shout from Janice, the Diatomists.
Hi, Janice.
2 weeks ago. About a month ago.
Yeah.
Tried the shout. Yeah, what a great shout.
That is a very good shout. I am writing that down too. Well done.
But have a great Christmas, everyone. I'm going to pour a dram to raise to you, and it's going to be a contender for my dram of the year.
Nice.
So if I don't see you, I hope I do. Either in the shop or send you some whiskies or whatever, or on one of the online chats. Have a great Christmas. Ooh, that's quite cool, isn't it, with the tree in the background?
Oh, that's cute, yeah. Get that on your instance.
Have a great festive period and New Year. We'll see you next year, if not before. Thanks for sticking with us. The Blether. As always, we don't do this to kind of sell anything. We do it because we love getting together and having a chat. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. And we will see you all very soon.
Yeah. Take care, Slange. Merry Christmas.
Slange. Merry Christmas. Cheers. It still seems too early to be saying Merry Christmas, doesn't it?
I know, but it's fine. It's fine. Just put some Christmas music over it when you edit it.
Hey guys, sorry about that. My laptop froze just as we were shutting down. But I'm just about to turn this off now. And again, have a great Christmas, New Year, and we will see you again in 2024. Cheers now. Bye.